We just looked at how Safari on the iPhone responded when it got an invalid Fiddler certificate, one that it couldn't complete a certificate chain on. Let's now have a look at an app, and I'm going to open it up here and we'll see if you can figure out what it is. It's just opened on my iPhone. Here we go. The first few requests give this away. And in fact, we can see there are really quite a number of requests. Right up the top though, I've just opened the eBay app. We can see that there are a number of tunnel requests. So remember, these are the requests that begin establishing the HTTPS communication. We can also see that one of these requests, number 3, is actually an HTTP request. So inevitably, there is a legitimate purpose for the eBay app to make some requests that don't have to be encrypted. That's fine. I'm going to assume that eBay has got their threat modeling right, and that request, and indeed response, doesn't have anything of a sensitive nature that could pose a risk if it was either read or modified. What I'm really interested in though is I want to show you what the eBay app does when we try to proxy it through a connection where the certificate chain can't be completed. Let me show you a screen. This is what I'm seeing on my iPhone right now. The eBay app has tried to securely connect to the APIs on the back end, but because Fiddler has intercepted the request, man-in-the-middled it, and served up its own certificate that doesn't validate, the eBay app has decided to respond like this. It appears that you have lost your network connectivity. Now, of course, we haven't actually lost our connectivity. We've simply compromised the connection. Unlike the browser, where all websites are going to inherit the same sort of message from Safari if a certificate can't be validated, in an app, it's up to the app developers to determine how they communicate with the user. This is how eBay does it. Let me give you another example. This is ANZ Bank in Australia. These guys also talk about a lost network connection. It's a very generic message, and for end users, that's typically fine. It doesn't really matter to them whether the connection is gone or whether the connection can't be trusted. The bottom line is they can't use an app that's properly validating the requests. Here's another one. This one is the JB Hi-Fi electronics store in Australia. This one actually says a connection failure occurred, SSL problem, and it goes on to talk about possible bad, expired, or self-signed certificates. So JB Hi-Fi has chosen to be rather explicit about the nature of the connection problem. That's fine. For whatever reason, they've decided that's the sensible thing to do. The point I want to make is that again, it's really at the developer's discretion as to how they inform the users that a secure connection cannot be made. But of course, it's not just mobile apps and Safari that are validating that the certificate is valid. Unlike the browser, where certificate validation happens implicitly for any website you write, when we start talking about mobile apps, the validation can actually be disabled by the developer. They can go in to the process that makes the connection over the web and explicitly tell it that they no longer want to validate certificates. We'll come back to why they might do that in just a moment, but first of all, I want to show you an app that does just that.